back to the Cook to Flourish kitchen. This is Robin Cook, and I am delighted to be here with you tonight. I can't wait to share this recipe with you. This is one of our family favorites, especially in the winter time. And today we've kind of had spring and winter all in the same day, but that's what you get in Missouri, right? It was nice and like 60 earlier, and now it's like in the 30s, headed to perhaps snow even. So we are making some chicken soup, and I hope that you and your family will love it. So here are the things that you're going to need to have on hand to make this amazing, creamy, non-dairy chicken soup. It actually comes from our Cook to Flourish cookbook. It's called the Chicken Soup in there if you have the book already. So here's what you're going to need. You're going to need an organic chicken. Now you can use a whole chicken. You can use your favorite parts of the chicken that you want, legs or breasts or thighs, whatever you'd like. You're going to need some chicken. Now, with that in mind, we're going to also need some broth. Now, if you're thinking, how do I make homemade chicken broth? Well, our cookbook actually explains how to make that. There is nothing like fresh chicken broth. But if you are not sure how to make it, here are 3 ways that you can do it. Well, if you need to, you can actually take the chicken bones from, last night's dinner or whatever, chicken legs or thigh bones, and you can put them into a freezer bag along with some other vegetable odds and ends, celery tops or the carrot, ends that you might cut off and throw away. You can put these into a freezer bag and keep them, and then you can boil it with some filtered water and some wonderful sea salt, the real sea salt, and a little bit of pepper, some parsley, some garlic. Let that simmer for at least 30 minutes to get that flavor all out of the chicken bones and into that water, and there you have some broth. So that's option number 1. Option number 2 would be you have your chicken, it's raw, and you need to cook it in order to make your soup. Put it all in a big soup pot. Fill it up with your water, then also some carrots, some celery, some onion. Chop that up and let it simmer on the stove top for at least an hour or so until the chicken is nice and cooked. And then you can take the chicken and the vegetables out, and then you'll have an amazing chicken broth there. Or you can take a whole chicken, or again, your favorite chicken pieces, put it in a crock pot, filtered water, season that up as much as you want, put some veggies in there, put the lid on there, and let it go all day long or all night long, either one. And either one of those 3 options will get you amazing chicken broth, okay? So that's step number 1, is to get your broth however you can. Then we need to cook our chicken. So maybe you already cooked it to get your broth, or maybe this is leftover baked chicken from the night before. So we have our chicken. Then also, this is one of our secret ingredients to make this soup nice and rich and creamy, is cooked spaghetti squash. Who would have thought? Spaghetti squash in soup. Now, if you don't have cooked spaghetti squash, there's a few other options. You can do cooked yellow squash, like just regular yellow summer squash, preferably organic. You can slice that up, and I'll explain how to use it in a minute. Or you can use celery root. And I would love to hear in the comments below if you have used celery root. You might have to Google that if you've not heard of it before. I couldn't find any at the health food store today. Otherwise, I'd show it to you. But it's kind of a knobby looking vegetable. You peel off the skin, then you chop it into small pieces, and then we will boil it to get it nice and soft, and then we're going to puree it. So you can use yellow summer squash, spaghetti squash that's already cooked, or the celery root. Any of those 3 would be great for the creaminess of this soup, because again, we're not using any dairy in this, which is wonderful. And then you're gonna need some vegetables. Now, of course, we already know that celery and onions and garlic, those are staples in a chicken soup, right? But how about cauliflower? So cauliflower is our other creamy agent, secret ingredient in this soup. So what you're going to need 1 large or medium-sized onion. Chop it, rough chops around that size. Also, you're gonna need some celery, preferably organic, because celery is on the EWG Dirty Dozen list. So if you can get organic, that would be awesome. So you're gonna wanna chop it, into small pieces. Using the leafy part is really good in soup. And then our cauliflower. So you're gonna have smaller florets, medium-sized florets, and then also some garlic. So 1 or 2 garlic cloves, and do yourself a favor, take your garlic clove and whack it really good with the bottom of an olive oil jar or something like that, because when we whack it and let it sit on the counter for 5 to 10 minutes, it will retain more of its beneficial properties, okay? So you're gonna need all 4 of these veggies here. And now we're also gonna need some carrots. So 1 or 2 organic carrots, make them into small pieces because we're gonna cook these after we've cooked the broth, after we've pureed the veggies. We'll add the carrots in last. So this is what you're going to need, all right? So now, here's what we've already done. We've already made our chicken broth. We've added in our 4 veggies here. Let's see if you can see this. I've cooked these on the stove for about 15 minutes. You want to cook the cauliflower, celery, onion, and garlic long enough until they are softened, okay? So then what we do is we get our nice blender out. I personally love the Blendtec blenders, but any other one should do, but this makes it super nice and creamy. So that's our third somewhat ingredient, if you will, in the creaminess aspect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna strain off the broth from these veggies as much as you can, and we're gonna put this into our blender. So this is a great way to hide and sneak your veggies if you have kiddos or a husband or a friend that isn't as much of a fan of the onions and the garlic and the cauliflower especially. This is a wonderful way to sneak it in, and these are great foods for our immune system during the winter times, or really any time of year, but especially when it's the cold and flu season. Onions and garlic are amazing for us, and cauliflower is as well. So do your best to strain as many of the veggies from that as you can. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put some arrowroot powder. So this is from Bob's Red Mill. It's non-GMO arrowroot starcher powder. We're gonna need 1 tablespoon. So I've already measured that out. I'm gonna put that in here. And we have found that this thickener, it helps with the creaminess as well. And if you put this in the middle of all the veggies and then blend it up, the arrowroot blends up more evenly throughout. And now I'm gonna add 2 cups of cooked spaghetti squash. I'm gonna put this in here. So you see all the veggies that is in this soup? This is amazing. So when we puree the veggies, that's what gets it that creamy consistency. So are we ready to do that? I am going to put some unbleached parchment paper underneath of our lid. This is going to help for easy cleanup for our lid. So I'm gonna put this over here on our Blendtec, and I'm gonna just pulse it a few times until it's all nice and creamy. So here we go. Veggies? I don't see any veggies, right? So this is our secret, okay? So here we go. See, we have this all nice and rich and creamy, and this is going to be our base now for our soup, and I'm going to do my best not to splatter it everywhere. So into our wonderful soup pot it goes. Whee! Mix it up with that leftover broth that was in the pot. Now, if this is too thick for you, you can add in extra chicken broth or a little bit of water. That would be just fine. So I'm just stirring this all together. And now we get to add in our chicken. Our wonderful baked chicken is gonna go into this. So this is a wonderful use for leftover baked chicken. And then also, I've already cooked up my carrots since I don't have a stovetop down here. These are already cooked carrots. So pretend that we put these in here for about 5 to 7 minutes, got it all nice and hot, got the carrots all tender. Well, we already did that behind the scenes, so I'm gonna put those in here. And then we're gonna jazz it up with some organic dried parsley and a little bit of cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is gonna be your friend if you are eating this soup and you have a cold or you're feeling kind of congested. That cayenne pepper will take care of that. It definitely gets the mucus and the fluid moving. So we are just gonna stir all of this together. You can add a little bit more real salt or pepper to taste if you would like. But here we are, we have our wonderful, rich and creamy, non-dairy, non-gluten, amazing healing chicken soup. So I'm gonna put some of this into our bowl here. Wonderful, wonderful. This would be amazing with a organic baked potato or a sweet potato or some almond flour crackers. And there we have it, my friends. We have a fantastic soup. So I hope that you really enjoy this. God bless you, and I can't wait to see you again in the Cook to Flourish kitchen.